You're listening to the So You Think You're Intuitive podcast, a podcast to help you reactivate, grow, and trust your intuition so you can live a more empowered and connected life. Join me, Natalie Miles, spiritual mentor and psychic medium, every Wednesday for inspired conversations, guidance, and practical tips on how you can work with your intuition in your everyday life. Because who doesn't want to trust their intuition more? Welcome back to So You Think You're Intuitive. I'm Natalie Miles, spiritual mentor and psychic medium, taking you on this journey to reactivate and trust your intuition. Hi everyone, something a little bit different for this week's podcast episode. I have been receiving messages and guidance and downloads from Spirit since Friday that I want to share with you for this episode. So here goes. If you're listening to this message, you're supposed to be. It's no coincidence that you are here right now, because you're being called to be part of the change. This is a message for the intuition community. If you call yourself intuitive, work within the spiritual realm, or are just reconnecting with your intuition, this is for you. This is for the intuitives, the healers, the light workers, the shadow workers, the doulas, the health professionals, the psychics, the intuitive coaches, the mediums, the intuitive artists, intuitive writers, astrologers, spiritual guides, teachers, shamans, the dream workers, the spiritual community as a whole. However you label yourselves, however you connect to source, spirit, and however you describe it, this message is for you. We stand on the cusp, a period of great change and transformation. Love, peace, harmony, but also anger. And we're being called to do something about it. With the recent terrorist killings on 2 mosques in Christchurch, the recent killings in Utrecht, the political climate across the US and Europe, and the rest of the world, we're being called to stand up against the violence, the hate, the systemic racism which happens globally on a daily basis, the shadow, the social and political injustices, the corruption, the political corruption, the fear of religions and other people's beliefs, the pressure on our Mother Earth and the environment as we take her resources and we do not replenish them and look after them. We're not doing enough. Spirit is mad. They're angry. You have these gifts and this potential, but you're not doing enough. And we're being asked to look at, how can we do more? How can we be part of the change? How can we lead? How can we use the gifts that we have to bring it back to love and share it with the world, to our communities? How can we harness our energy as a collective? Imagine if we brought it all together, that we could create change. It's not a coincidence that we're being reactivated during this time, and that intuition is being made popular or mainstream, or that people are turning to other alternative methods of healing and are talking about it in an open space. We've spent centuries not being heard and not being seen, and that our work isn't real. Our ancestors have been killed for this work. Our ancestors have been pushed to the edges of society. They have not been seen and they have not been heard. But we must remember what they have endured, their sacrifices to lead us to this point, because we're being given an opportunity to lead and be part of the change. But we must embrace our gifts, let go of our fears, let go of the blocks to being seen and being heard, and to share our gifts into the light, to be part of the change. The shadow has always been there on this planet. Where there is light, there is dark, there is duality. And the shadow can give us so much insight and so much detail, especially when we harness it to create change and be part of the light. The fear, the injustice, the corruption has been there across our globe. But with internet and technology, we see and hear more. And it is no coincidence that this reactivation period also happens in a great time where we have technology, where we have the internet, because we're more connected than ever. We're more connected to seeing the fear, to seeing the hate. But instead of feeding the fear and letting it get out of control, we're being asked to look at the shadow and be part of the change and use the internet and the technology to take action, to spread the love and to use our gifts to reconnect others to finding the love within ourselves. Are you being heard? Are you being seen? Are you really taking the action that you want? Are you using your community and your platform to create change? Are you ready to release the fear? And this work isn't all about love and light. Light bypassing, spiritual bypassing, where we just focus on the light and it's okay, don't worry, I'm just going to pour love and light into it and it's all right. So often we hear in our community that it is not our job to get involved in politics. It's not our job to get involved in the corruption. It's not our job to get involved in the social and political injustices. Why not? Why not? Shouldn't we be using our gifts and our connection to Source and Mother Earth to be part of this change? It's not all love and light. It's not all love and light. And when we remember this and we embrace the shadow of ourselves and the world we live in, we can be part of the change. So ask yourself, are you just connecting with the love and light of doing this work? Notice what triggers in you. But you may be asking yourself, great, there's all this talk of action and taking action, but how do we do that? How do we do that as a community? How do we do that as a collective? Right now, that hasn't shown itself. But by sharing this message and by having this conversation, we are planting a seed of change, a seed of what is to come. And I'm looking forward to seeing what is created off the back of this and how we can work together as a collective to create the change. But today, we're being called to reconnect to the heart space. The intuition community, the spiritual community, today we're being asked to reconnect to the heart space, to connect to the love, to connect to the peace, to connect to this potential harmony, because our planet needs it. Our communities need it. We need it. And so I ask today On this super full moon, this spring autumnal equinox, we're being called to connect to the heart space as a collective, to share some of our light and our magic into the world today. So take this moment just to connect to your heart. Just feel the energy within your heart. Notice any feelings or emotions that get brought up. Does your heart feel heavy? Does your heart feel sad? What is your heart telling you today? And I want you to call in your guides. I want you to call in the universe, however you like to do it. Call this energy in. And I want you to imagine this infinite love to flow into your heart space. And I want you to imagine this white light as it flows all the way through your body. And now I just want you to just take a moment to send this light, this hope. And I want you to share it into your community where you are right now. In the town or city or village or wherever you are, just sending it to the community around you. And now I want you to spread it a little bit further. And I want you to imagine sending this light across the globe, sharing it and putting some extra special love and attention into New Zealand right now. Sending this light to all communities across the globe. And just feel your own heart expanding as you do this. Feel your own heart expanding as you do this. You're ready to be part of the change. You're ready to shine your gifts. You're ready to let go of fear. You're ready to share the love. The time is now. If you feel called to share this channeled message to friends, family members, spiritual people that you work with, healers that you work with, it would be amazing to share this message with as many people in our community as possible so that we can inspire action, create change, and harness this energy as a collective. So if you feel called to share, please share this episode with those people. This episode is also going to be shared on YouTube as well, so it can be shared there too. Thank you for listening. There is going to be more that is going to come through from this over the next couple of weeks, the next month, and ongoing. Thank you for listening to this channel message. Today is a very special vortex energy that we're being called to look in to and access and reconnect to the heart space and spread peace and spread love. But more importantly, take action. Spirit don't want us to just sit and be. They want us to take action on this, to use our anger, to not sit back and watch, but to be part of a global change, and we can be part of that. Thank you for listening.